And that was how I found out about grit. So why is that relevant to all of you? Why do we need to talk about this in a room full of women? Well, it's because women have hit the skids. The research on women in the last few years, and I don't know how many of you are on top of it, is pretty devastating, and it's awful. So for the first time in history, women are more unhappy than men, and that's a really sad, scary finding. So by the age of 48, most women used to be pretty content with their lives. They felt, happy with what they were doing, happy with their choices, set on where they were going. There was a general air of well-being or contentment. A few years ago, that all flipped. In about 2008, what we found for the first time is that men are happier than women. And to make it a little bit worse, last year, the Center for Disease Control reported a number of kind of leveraged findings about women and addiction and substance abuse and eating disorders. And what we found now is that middle-aged women lead the pack on suicide attempts, depression, eating disorder entries. Into the number one person entering eating disorder centers now is not a teenage girl, it's a middle-aged woman. And you'll hear more about my history with eating disorders in a little bit here. So middle-aged women are in a rough spot. And that's because societal forces have really conspired to give men more leisure time in some ways and to give them the wherewithal to ask for time off. In the process, they've shucked off more things like caring for aging parents, where women have picked up the slack. So the American Time Use Leisure Study has found that women only have 41 minutes a day to pursue their own goals. Now, when I work with women, and I work with men and women around the world, a lot of times I will ask them, what are the visions and the goals they have for themselves, and what brings them joy? And one of the things I find is that the phone often goes dead. Why? Because women lose themselves in the process of caring for others. How many of you have heard of the book The Confidence Code by Katty Kay and Claire Shipman? So I'm friends with them, and I introduce them to some of the concepts in positive psychology and help them get some interesting interviews that are in their book, and their book is a must-read. But one of the things they have found is that women don't take risks. Women lack confidence, therefore they don't take risks. They don't go out of their comfort zone to go after their goals. And what I find in the work I do is quite often their goals are too small, if they even have them at all. And with only 41 minutes a day to pursue your goals, what are you going to do? So I'm here to ask all of you to fight differently for yourselves and to do it with the awareness that we can become happier, and as women, we really need to role model this for the generation coming behind this. The burden is on us to turn this trend around and to bring back the goal setting, the hard goal setting, the grit, the resilience, and I'll tell you a little bit more about some of the things that do bring well-being. But can any of you relate to what I'm saying here? Are there any nods of recognition that, yep, this is hard.